The theme for tonight is margin of error. That's what the theme of tonight is. Margin of error. We have very little margin of error when we're missing $60 million, $55 million. We're missing. Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus? I think he makes around 27 million. Right. So let me do some math here. What is it? 60 plus. All right. That's $142 million that is not being used on our roster. Okay. $142 million. Okay. I believe the NBA salary cap is somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay. So we are not even in the neighborhood of that right now. So Guy Santos got like $5 million today, 5 million a year, 3 years, 15 million. Congratulates to Guy. But you see, when we're missing that much talent and the team is just built to play a certain way, we're gonna have games like this where we're gonna play great, and then games that we're not gonna play great. But you see, if we are playing basketball, and this has been an ongoing thing for years, before KD, with KD, post KD, and into this era with Jimmy Butler, without Jimmy Butler. We have this thing where we try, when Draymond Green is on the court, we run these sets for Draymond Green. Okay, we run these lineups for Draymond, and when we run these lineups for Draymond, I think it throws the other guys off, and you could see when it was happening tonight. Um, Steve, if you're actually serious about winning the games, I mean, just make up an injury for Draymond and just have the guys just go out there and compete. But I know what you're doing. You're saying that, all right, when Steph comes back and you're going to play through Draymond and Steph, you're going to do the two-man thing, yada, yada, yada. Me personally, I think the two-man thing is done. I really don't think it's that big of a positive anymore. And the personnel that we have around the team, it's just not the same, right? So, and Draymond is clearly not the same type of guy anymore. And how can he be, bro? He's in his 30s. He's post 35, and boy does he look every bit of it. You know?
Yeah, we can't
So
we can't
yeah,
expect him to be like
we
what
can't
Steph
expect him to be
is.
that,
Yeah.
bro. But at the same time, if we can't expect him to be that, we cannot run the offense like it's 2019. 2019 was, bro, that was 7 years ago.
Yep. And the thing is,
You know what I'm
and the thing
saying?
is, any good that we have going on offense, we got to build off of that. We can't just go away from it. There's been a lot of times in the last few years since the championship where we had these good starts to the season, and we
Yeah.
do something different, and then we go away from it. That's kind of been a reoccurring theme too.
I think they think that there's a certain style of play that's going to win in the playoffs, and there's going to go with that style, right? But I mean, when you're just out there and you're just watching, all right, I'm only going to read off the plus minuses. Negative 22 for the starting lineup, negative 25, 25, 20, and that's for Gee, Melton, Moody, and Post, right? So those guys were negative 22, negative 25, negative 25, negative 20, right? Draymond Green has the worst plus minus out there consistently. He consistently, every single game that he plays, has the worst plus minus, right? And I'm telling you, and when they're losing these games, they're losing these games in the first quarter, and it is so glaring, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know what you're actually watching, you'll see. So I'll give you an example of this, right? There was a play where they walk the ball up the court. A team like the Lakers, they hate chasing, right? Luca don't want to guard, Reeves don't want to guard, Braun especially don't want to guard, right? We are out there in a half court set. Draymond just runs to the block, okay? And he runs to the right block, okay? And they're trying to run a split action. Okay. You can tell that was like a set play that they were calling. And they walk the ball up the court, first of all. you can't walk the ball up the court on this team, right? Like you have to have them just chase. So, they walk the ball to the block and they run a split action, turnover into a score, right? Plays like that are they rip away at your soul. So if you are undermanned and you're outnumbered, it, these plays are just going to rip at you, bro.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have Horford there at center, you have him at the top. Horford, can do like the dribble handoff stuff that they like to do with the guards, and he can also make the shot, right? You see when you have a guy out there that's not a threat to make that shot, it makes it absolutely gross.
Yep. And then you're prone to turnovers.
And then you're prone to turnovers too. So tonight they only had 10 turnovers, right? They really wasn't a turnover, right? So you saw like when they were just on offense, they were just running. And the way that they were playing before, it's just ball movement. They're running like the wheel action up top. They're doing all of that stuff. And they're running through the catch. So when they're doing stuff like that, they're in constant movement, they're in constant motion. Now, when you're going to walk the ball up the court and you're going to run a half court set off rip, right? Because that action that you're there running with Draymond Green, that's kind of the only way that you can keep him on the court. Otherwise, he's kind of in the corner and they're just going to sag off of him, right? So, there was a lot of hand wringing about putting him at center, right? Tonight he started at center. So what's the point of starting him at center if every time we had a chance to play like a heavy wing lineup, we would bitch about, playing Draymond at center. You know what I'm saying? So anytime it became to play Jimmy and JK or Kaminga and Wiggins and Draymond at center, we kicked and screamed and pretended like his life was going to end if he played center. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not even good at center. Now he's even messing things up at center, right? And it's not just this game, bro, but every single game that they have him out there without Steph Curry, it looks diabolical, bro. And they literally sat
Just
there.
degrading by the game. It just gets worse.
Lee, here's another thing too, right? I literally watched earlier in the season, there was a lineup of Steph, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kaminga, Steph, and I think Draymond was at center, right? And these guys were out there. Oh, sorry, no, it was Steph, Pods, JK, Draymond, and Jimmy. That was a five, right? And that five was a positive. But then they said, no, 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 we need to get Draymond at power forward because, but right, so cool. The Moody, Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, and Quentin Post lineup, it was a negative the entire time. It had heavy minutes, and it was a negative the whole time. And when people said to Steve, yo, that lineup is a negative, you know what Steve said? Steve said, yeah, 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 but we're just going to preserve Draymond at center, right? And we found every single way not to play Jonathan Kaminga, even though in the lineups that he was in, it was a positive lineup, right? Now we traded him away. We traded we traded dude away, right? Traded JK away. Cool. We get Porzingis in there. Now you hear Porzingis is sick. And Steve went up there earlier and said something really, really dumb. And he's like, I should not comment about this and that and blah, 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 blah. He said it ain't pots. So if it ain't pots, well, what is it? Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus?
As Donald Sterling.
He's got AIDS. Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know because I would like for him to play. Maybe he could have made a difference. And the crazy part about it, in in that trade, I feel like they made it so Draymond could play power forward, bro. You know
That's all it was for.
what I'm
That's what it
saying?
was for.
So there's so many years that we did that thing and we were trying to make sure that Draymond and Steph played and all of this stuff. And it sucks, bro. And we just let the fucking roster just erode over nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm gonna do a Hawks watch tomorrow because we're leaving with something, bro. We're leaving with something, dog.
Who they play tomorrow?
Who they play tomorrow? I don't even know.
Look.
But
Five.
but yeah, dog. It's just tough, man. It's just a tough thing to watch, and you're just watching.
Play the Blazers.
Oh, they play the Blazers.
Yep.
Okay, so wing galore, bro. Wing versus wing.
I'm
Okay,
actually rooting for the Hawks tomorrow because of this.
we're rooting for the Hawks tomorrow because the Blazers are on our ass,
Yep.
dog. They're on our asses, not literally. Be as big as he is, pause. Right. So,
This nigga is funny. I'm weak.
yeah, bro. So we'll be rooting for the Hawks tomorrow for legitimate reasons, you know,
True that. True
Yep.
that.
for legitimate reasons, not for agendas, but for legitimate reasons. But boy, let me tell you something, man. I mean, um, but tonight it is glaring, bro. Like if you know what you're watching and you see how teams are just playing Draymond, and the fact that they don't have a counter for it because they can't have a counter, you know, bro. Every time I watch this
Erg,
team, it makes me think, Lee. I'm like, Steph Curry is one of the most valuable players ever,
Yeah.
bro. If not ever.
Yeah.
Like how,
Erg,
dog?
You know the unfortunate part about it? Like Houston in the third seed has won what 37 games. The Warriors have won 31 games. So when you really look at it, it's not like they're 20, 25 games behind. So you
Yeah.
can't really use like, yeah, this team is just completely trash because that's not necessarily the case. And of course, we've seen them lose like close games over and over and over. But I feel like when that's happening, you have to examine the entire thing and then, really call a spade and say who is giving you value and who is not.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And like Steph hasn't played for a while. And you're telling me, yeah, the season's almost over, but it's still only a difference of like 5 games. And that's a lot to make up now.
Yeah.
But bro, I mean, if you have better players or players not making that same amount of money or multiple players for that similar contract, maybe you're not in this position. I know a lot of trolls, like, the King Solomons want to say it's all Steph's fault. But at this point, I don't understand if Steph is supposed to average 30, 35 points and
Bruce.
carry others for the Warriors to have a
Bruce, let me tell you
chance.
something, right? This is what Steph Curry's job is, and he's still doing at a high level. He scores at a crazy efficient rate, and he also creates advantages on literally every single possession that he's on the court. You know what I'm saying? There is never a possession that he's on the court where he's not creating some type of advantage, right? And when you watch it, the team tonight, um, they have guys that can execute. Don't get me wrong. Like I won't sit here and say that they're trash and they're this and they're that, right? Like I always judge people relative to salary, right? And I think everyone is, right in line with what they're making, right? Their production is right in line with what they're making. Now, you know, for what they have done, I'm surprised they've even held up the entire month that Steph has been gone and Jimmy Butler as well. I think they've held up pretty well. I'm actually pretty proud of them because I've been pleasantly surprised, right? Now the problem is that, one, can Steph Curry come back, right? He's going to be reevaluated tomorrow. And I don't think it's going to be like, oh, he's going to be reevaluated and he comes back on Monday or Tuesday. I don't think that's the situation. I think he gets reevaluated and then there's some ramp up time and maybe there's like a week or two or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we hear that he's now pain free. Now we
No,
can get back.
he had the interview and he basically said, "There's no need to check tomorrow. My shit still hurts. It's cooked."
Is that what he said?
He basically said that, bro. It's like he ain't coming back for now, bro.
Okay. All right.
Five.
Come on, bro. So in light of that, all right. Let me enjoy these games, Steve Kerr. Um, Mike Dunleavy, Steve Kerr, Joe Lacob. Let me enjoy the rest of these games. And here's what I want you to do: give Draymond a little holiday, bro, and just have the young guys just be out there playing free. And give him a little holiday. At least let me enjoy the shit. Um,
Hey, Bruce, are you still there? Is Bruce there?
Yeah, unless
I was gonna
they
say,
kick me.
I was gonna say real quick, get that bottle of bourbon ready. We gonna need it.
oh my, oh my God, bro, ridiculous, bro. This is crazy. Hey, Eric, you remember when DeMarcus Cousins went off for like 50 points, 20 rebounds, and he said in the interview, "Yo, this is ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous." He kept saying that. He's like, "Yo, I'm glad y'all noticed it. This is how I feel right now, bro. It's ridiculous."
Yo, Bruce, I need that for the soundboard. That's actually a good drop.
I'm gonna go look for it. Hold up.
Yeah, bro, text that to me. I'm gonna put that on the soundboard. Oh my god, insane, bro, insane. But that's what it is, though, bro. Like I knew when the season started. I'm like, the biggest challenge is going to be staying healthy, and dog, they just couldn't stay healthy, man. They just could not stay healthy. And Steph is gonna have to figure out what's going on with that knee, because is it the same knee?
I don't know if it's a matter of the same knee. What I will say is I'm pretty sure they came out early and said it's nothing like structural damage. So that was the most important thing, but there was inflammation there. So it's like
No, but
no,
if you're getting inflammation in your knee, it's an overuse injury, right? So
yeah,
if
I
it's an
agree.
overuse injury, that's saying that something is compensating for something. So if something is compensating for something, they got to figure out like what's going on. Is it just, the nigga's old? You know what I'm saying? Like, because bro, how old is he gonna be in a couple of weeks? He's gonna be what, 38?
38.
You're you're kind of up there. I had a tweet the other day, right? And people got mad at me because I said I want him to retire gracefully, right? I really and truly want to see him retire gracefully. I don't want to see a punch drunk boxer. Yo, 37 is up there. You know what I'm saying? Not because LeBron is up there doing whatever that he's doing, make you think that no, no, no. I want to see graceful. What LeBron is doing right now is not graceful. He's just holding those niggas back. You know what I'm saying? So let's let's see something. Let's see somewhat of a graceful ending. You know what I'm saying?
He just holding niggas back.
Like I need to see some type of graceful ending. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see Patrick Ewing. I don't want to see Patrick Ewing in a fucking Orlando jersey. I don't want to see Hakeem in a fucking, Raptors jersey. I want to see any of that, bro.
I think
Like let
I think how this all ends, Irk, it's not going to be Steph looking like that. I think he's still going to be great. It's just how many games is he going to play?
Lee, that is my biggest fear, bro, because when Jordan was on the Wizards, niggas used to fucking cook Jordan on the Wizards, and they still do. And they hold it against him. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, that motherfucker was donating his fucking salary to charity. You know what I'm saying? He was out there still hooping, but bro, he was a shell of himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that at all, right? And it's like, if that's where we're at right now, and if these injuries are gonna pop up or whatever, like let's go out gracefully, bro.
Man.
Gracefully with 5 chips.
Benjo, I don't know if Jimmy Butler is hurt, okay? And and you know, Draymond Green is at where he's at right now. Those are your three best players right now on the team. I guess. I guess you're gonna include Draymond in that, right?
What
Now,
you mean? He always plays well in the playoff. You just don't care about. We're talking about regular.
Draymond.
Yeah, yeah.
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 I'm just saying, just wait till Steph Curry gets back and Stephen Curry. They're gonna build another energy that we need.
Let me ask you this, Benju. Besides Steph, what are some things that you're optimistic about?
I mean, y'all stressing about a regular season,
Hmm.
and usually the regular season are for young players to develop. We got our young players. We got our vets. Just get healthy to the playoff.
Hmm.
That's all we need. Develop young players. We have Gee. Come on, Will Richards.
How you feel about Steph's knee?
I'm not concerned. Come on.
Yeah.
They don't care about the regular season. They just want a chance. I mean, dude, matchup wise, we can match up with anybody. If you guys are not watching in a half court with our players, they can match up with anybody. Regular season, they're just you're just tired and shit.
Just gotta get to the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Hmm.
The young players should be able. That's what they should be playing good. That's what they're used for. Regular season.
I'll give you this: like this amount of time that Steph has been out, it has allowed them to grow. Like Moody has taken a step a bit in the last week, even Pies in some aspects, and especially Gee. So I see your point there. What I'm concerned about is just, you know, will Steph be healthy? If you're not concerned about it, I will want to
But
lean on your
see, but
optimism.
see, but
But
see, you know
that's what
what's
I'm
so
looking at.
funny though, L Dot? You know
Yeah.
what's so funny? Like, let's look at Denver, right? The Serbian Larry Bird, they've given him the moniker the best player in the league, which I don't think you could be the best player and you not constantly winning. But that's another argument. When he was out, I think he missed a little over a month. His team was playing exceptional, right? The young players and Jamal Murray and those guys rose to the occasion. Jamal Murray finally got All Star, even though I know they didn't want that to happen to push those Jokic narratives. But in saying that, the Warriors should be at that point. Like they're competent enough, they've won enough to know what good talent looks like and what you should have on the team. Peradventure, Steph Curry has to miss a few
I
weeks
don't think
because
that we can ask much more of from what the guys are giving us right now. You know what I'm saying? Again, I think they've been playing exceptional. But
Curry, come on, Curry would not let this happen too.
no, but what I'm saying that he's not there though. And the thing is that he's missed around 4 weeks of basketball, right? And I don't know when he's gonna come back. But you see that interview tonight? I didn't like how that interview sounded.
But see, Irk, and this is the reason why when we're discussing how next year can look possibly, right? And Jimmy Butler's a guy I've been fighting for years, right? A lot of people just waking up into Jimmy Butler when he carried the Heat to the finals 2 years, and I've been telling people who Jimmy Butler was. But even I'm looking at it, this age of Jimmy Butler, he's injured, and you're talking about $60 million. He is getting paid $5 million now moving forward, and he's been exceptional. We're talking about a player who's not going to play, making $60 million annually. How many players can you have to fill in the role of one individual to the tune of, again, if Steph Curry or another pivotal player is going to miss games, we could say, hey, Steph, go ahead and rest. You don't need to come back because
Yeah.
these guys got it. You don't have that luxury right now because you're nickel and diamond.
Yeah, I I just look at it like this, bro. I look at it like how much more all right, because I think we're in a dangerous area. You know what I'm saying? So do we just like continue to just thread water for the next couple of weeks. And then, 2 weeks from now, that makes it 6 weeks. So he misses 6 weeks of basketball and then he comes back. 6 weeks is like a fucking MCL sprain, bro. You know what I'm saying? So do we just last through LA on Monday, Houston? So we play 3 games next week, right? So we have LA, Houston, and OKC. The next week, we have 4 games in that week, right? So we have Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, right? Now we're at the 15th, right? So we're at the 15th. Now we're in the teeth of the road trip. You know what I'm saying? So we got Washington, Boston, Detroit, Atlanta back to back, right? And we're gonna see those niggas Atlanta on a back to back that whipped our asses last time,
Oh God.
right? So when does he actually come back? Because after that, right? That's like now your end of March. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if things don't go right, if we don't like win like say half of these games, right? Why would they even bring him back then? Are they just going to bring him back just to play in the playing tournament? You know what I'm saying? So what's the timetable? Was it is a timetable say by the 15th? Because we would have played one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 games by that time, right? So if he's gonna say miss another 2 weeks, and if he still has pain in the knee, like, do you just say, oh shit, we're just not gonna bring him back?
I think it depends on what he wants.
No, but he has to be pain free though. Like if he's not pain free, it makes zero sense, Lee.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. I don't.
If
I don't think he'll play if he feels that way. To be honest with you.
if he's not pain free, what's the point? There's no point in playing him.
Mm-mm.
Zero.
Mm-mm.
There's 0 point if he's not pain free because again, right? I am a different individual. I am not like these other people. I want to see him go out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a graceful ending. So you see all of this stuff about him playing hurt and all of this shit.
Yep.
I want no parts of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I want no parts of it. I'm
I
different from
agree,
a lot
Eric.
of y'all fans. A lot
I
of
agree,
y'all will
Eric.
watch him sit out there and just play hurt. Not me,
Eric,
bro.
Eric, I would rather just throw in the towel. Because keep it a
I do
buck.
not want to see him out
Keep it
there.
a buck, Eric.
Yeah,
Keep
bro.
it a
Like I
buck.
don't want to see it.
We saw
Don't
the last
don't want to see
playoff.
it. So if he's out there and he still got pain in that bitch, like, mm-mm.
Eric, Eric, we just watched the playoff experience where the Warriors definitely should have beat Houston in like five. And then we saw them win that first game against Minnesota because he set the tempo. And then we seen them lose 4 games in a row. They couldn't win a game without Steph. So one, they're more likely not winning a playing game without him. And even
Yeah.
if they make it into the playoffs, they're not winning a series without him. So if that be the case, shut it down, lose as much games as
Now,
possible.
now here's the other side of the coin, Bruce. The other
Hmm.
side of the coin is say he misses like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, right? He
Hmm.
comes back around. Say he comes back around Dallas or Atlanta or something like that. Say he comes back around then, right? I think these teams are so bad and a lot of them are tanking, right? That you will probably still kind of be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And then you will have the opportunity just to win 1 game and then just get in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and then you just never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? But if he has pain in his knee, and that's what I'm worried about, bro, because like when you hear tendonitis, I am worried about that thing because as an athlete, you have like these weird things, bro, and you just don't know how your body is going to respond half the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Eric, I'm gonna tell you this. So we, of course, we know serendipity is always a chance of serendipity, right?
yeah,
But if you're talking about a lingering injury where it's already seeming unusual because you've never been through this, again, I am not going to push the limit because you have to look at your teammates. Doesn't it matter how great you are? You have to look at your teammates and ask yourself, can me, with this injury coupled with these teammates, get the job done? And if that's not the case because you are not sure about this anomaly of an injury, you gotta just make a business decision at that point.
Bruce,
That's how I'm gonna feel.
it's not really an anomaly. It's an overuse injury, right?
Yeah.
I've had I've had tendonitis before, bro. It's just one of those things where you just got to kick your feet up, ibuprofen, ice it, bath, and you just got to just you strengthen it, and you just got to make sure that like your quads are firing, your glutes are firing, your hamstrings are firing. Like that's pretty much what it is, right? The reason why this happens is because there's some type of imbalance between his hamstring, his IT band, and his quads. You know what I'm saying? So, or his glutes, right? So there's something in there that they're trying to work on that's not firing, right? Like I'm sure they have all the equipment to kind of figure out, like, and here's the other thing too. Um, he's running around a lot. And he's running around more than he ever has been. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I used to think that the on ball, off ball stuff used to benefit him. But you see, as certain people has degraded around him, you find that he has to run more to make those people work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what pisses me off is that we're still out here and he's having to make more and more and more concessions as he's gotten older. You know what I'm saying? And what about somebody else coming in and making the game easy for it? That's essentially what Jimmy was doing. Jimmy was making the game easy for him, and unfortunately, J- um, he got hurt. So there's just too much running around that was going on anyway. He's not running around because he can't play this type of style. He's running around because people around him have gotten worse.
Yeah, but he wouldn't allow Golden State to trade Green. And so what a normal team would do, and you can't do this with Draymond on the roster, what a normal team would have done is they would have traded Green after 2023, and they would have said Steph is still a borderline top 10 player in the league. So change the offense. Don't run a rigid version of motion so Steph doesn't have to run that much off the ball and his legs will hold up. I mean, he got hurt last year because he had to run too much. He's a year older this year. But my thing is, I don't think Steph's coming back this year because his interview, he said he's not even doing on the court work. I mean, forget about being cleared for contact. He said he's not even doing on the court work. There's 6 weeks left in the season. And if you look at Golden State's roster, if Steph comes back, he's going to have a usage rate of around 33%, which is what he had earlier in the year. That's the highest it's been for his career. And so if Steph's going to be on the court with this team, he's going to have to carry. And so given the time left, the fact he's not even doing on the court work, and the fact he'd have to carry this roster, I don't think he's going to come back this year.
He's a tank. He's a freak. Brandon, he's a tank.
Free
Yeah.
Trunks.
Cooked again. But I don't, Urkel, I don't agree with your take when you say that Jimmy took pressure off Steph. Jimmy does not scale up in the regular season. Like, if you look at the games where Golden State beat good teams, the best example is when because Golden State did have some wins against very good teams. You guys beat Denver, you beat San Antonio twice. Steph had to drop 40. And so Jimmy was 20 points a game. Jimmy needed 10 free throws to score 22 points, but Jimmy did not scale up when Steph was struggling. I mean, Jimmy's a third option at this point in his career. Jimmy did not take significant pressure off Steph. His mid-range shooting numbers were garbage. He couldn't shoot threes. Jimmy was 20 a game, and 20 a game in the regular season, especially with how limited Golden State's roster is. Golden State needed Jimmy to be at 25-26 to take pressure off Steph. Jimmy wasn't a good enough scorer to do that. The gap's too big. Mariachi.
Nigga laughing at himself, yo. Hey, Brandon is the funniest nigga
This
on
shit
this
is
app,
wild,
bro.
man. This shit's like
Brandon,
Kanye talking to
Brandon
himself.
is,
This shit is
Brandon is the
fucking mad,
funniest
bro.
nigga on this app, bro. I swear, bro. This nigga